Alright, so everybody wants to know, what was the outcome of the Logan Paul and KSI fight? Or people want to know if the fight was rigged. Well, I'm here to tell you some opinions from my side and some opinions from other people's side. But anyways, people really do want to know what the situation is, or if it's faked. So it's a very split spectrum, and the reason for that is because there's people who think it's faked and they have good reason to think it's fake, and then there's people that think it's real and they also have a good reason to think it's real. So, for example, let's just start right off, okay? KSI was missing a lot of his hits. Probably most of them. And from an outsider's perspective, right, if you're missing that many hits, as somebody who didn't do that in the Joe Weller fight and was actually landing punches, no amount of nerves would get you to the point where you cannot physically hit the person. And then there's that side that's like, well, Logan Paul does have the height and the reach on him, and considering that that's a fact, it might have been hard for KSI to hit him because of the shorter base and the shorter reach. So I personally, if you want to know my stance on what I think it was faked. I think that the probability of a boxing match coming out to a draw is so low that you'd have to think that they would fake it, because let's be honest, we can both be completely honest, all of us can. You can't put it past these two fucking idiots to fake it, because they're both shitty people. Logan Paul and KSI are both very shitty people who have done very shitty things, like, for example, dead body Forrest.
I really hate to say this. I think there's someone hanging right there. Excuse me?
You know, so would you really put it past either of them? Because let's be honest, they're both gonna make a shit ton of money off the fight. They walked away with like $10 million, okay? Is it really that unbelievable that they could have staged the fight? Is it that unbelievable? Because at least to me, it's not. I think it's very obvious that that's exactly what happened, but other people seem to disagree. And like I said, there is that side where you can see, yeah, okay, maybe it's not faked, but then there's that other side that's like, well, there's a lot of sketchy shit, okay? You know, the fight that gets a draw, of course, has to be the one with the two shittiest people on YouTube. So you kind of have to understand that, yeah, there's going to be those people like myself that think that it's rigged, because it really does seem like it's rigged. It really does seem like they didn't give a fuck and they didn't try. And there are all these blatant things like KSI missing all of his punches and Jake Paul and Deji's fight coming out to a TKO. Why was that one allowed to come to a TKO but the main event wasn't? You should have made the main event real, and the Jake Paul and Deji one should have been a draw or something like that, just to hype up that main event more. But they didn't go that route. They did the complete opposite. And I think that was a smart move, because there are going to be people like me that are going to be like, well, why didn't they fake the first one? So I can see how they would flip that. It's the perfect disguise. But I really do think it was faked. I really do. And so does Atreus. Atreus thinks so as well. If this were two different people who had at least a decent reputation on YouTube, had those have been new people, or good people for that matter, okay, I could see how it could come to a draw. It's a very rare occasion, right? But you're talking about somebody who has got an ego bigger than Conor McGregor's. He's literally got the ego of Mayweather and Conor McGregor, okay? And then you've got Logan Paul. Logan Paul showed a dead body on YouTube and thought that everything was okay until he was called out for it. So, I think faking a boxing match is a little bit under their league instead of over. And not only that, they both walked away with $5 million, no fucking doubt about it. And by the way, another thing to top off this fucking cherry, the fact that they're gonna have another fight.
That's all, folks.
Just shows you that it's fake, right? Like, the chances of a boxing match coming to a draw and at least not a TKO is so unlikely that I'm going to go with the odds, and I'm not going to go for the low percentage that it was real, just because of who these people are, the fact that they're doing another fight, the outcome of Deji and Jake Paul's fight, and the fact that they're shitty people. They're just shitty YouTubers in general. Logan Paul was a fucking Viner that came over here. Same with Jake, you know? At least KSI has a little bit of backstory, but stop, KSI. Just stop. Your whole ego was built around this fight, and you've now ruined that. The fact that you didn't, not only did you not knock Logan out, you came to a draw, you didn't even get a TKO, so you're boxing, now, yeah, I'm a big dude, I can admit that. I'm probably not the most athletic in the world, but I can definitely I can definitely tell if somebody is the boxer that they claim to be, or if they're not, right? And you can't really, like, in my position, you can't really say, oh, you should know a lot about boxing because your weight. Fucking Butterbean existed, okay? I'm pretty sure motherfuckers can do it at my weight, okay? And another thing is, like I said before, if this were two different people, this would be a whole different situation, and you could see it coming to that conclusion. But the chances that the two shittiest people on the site right now, plus their younger brothers, who are also really shitty people, just happened to have a fight that was the main event that was over $10 million paid in, just happened to be drawed. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go with the odds here that they faked it, because I think the cherry on the top was the fact that they're having another fight, which they're gonna also charge people again. So, you know, it's not as great as they make it out to be. So, that's my views on the fight. What I think is going to happen is next time, I think there's a lot more people that are speculating that it was faked than there were. There are a lot more people like myself now. So I think that if they find out that everybody knows that it's faked, the new one, they're either not going to charge as much, or they're not even going to charge anything at all to try to make up for it. Another thing is I'm trying to make more videos. I can record now. I've got a bigger project coming up. We're going to be working on it and recording it in a couple weeks. Or like next week, sometime around there. We want to all get together and we're going to drop a bombshell of a video on somebody that you guys don't really know about. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. That was fucking gay.